Well, like all the venues of area of competition today, there was a lot of action out at the Tota rowing course. The last boats to get underway are the 8, so it was the smaller boats, and we had quite an upset today in the single sculls. This is really the big story of the day, I would say. Here's the start of the single sculls. The lane closest to you is Argentina. Lane 2 is Japan, but lane number 3 is the world's champion from the Soviet Union, Ivanov, Vyacheslav. Don Spero is in lane number 4. He's the U.S. champion. This is a heat to qualify for the finals. If you win the heat, you have one of the 6 final positions. If you lose your heat, you have to go into what is called repechage, which are heats for the losers. And the 3 winners of the losers' heats, they go into the finals against the 6 winners of the original heats. That's Ivanov we're on right now, 25 years old, 2-time Olympic champion. He's won the World Championship once, the European 3 times, extremely close. Closest to the camera, in lane number 1, is Alberto Damidi. On the far outside, furthest from you, is Don Spero. The course is 2,000 meters, 1 mile and a quarter. Good way to judge who's ahead are by those markers, little buoys in the water. So right now, it looks like Damidi of Argentina closest to you and Don Spero are about the same, with Ivanov of Russia in 3rd place, and Toshiomi Kasagi of Japan is in 4th. Only 4 men in this heat. Ivanov, many think, is the world's greatest sculler. He started training for the Olympics over a year ago. Every 3rd day, he sculls 25 miles, and he runs 5 miles every single day. Still extremely close. On the far outside, away from the camera, is Don Spero of the United States. In the middle is Ivanov, and closest to you is Damidi of Argentina. This camera pans right along with us, and you can probably pick up the markers as we come to them, the 500, the 1,000, the 1,500 meter, and the 2,000 meter mark. Don Spero on the far outside, who has taken the lead right now. Not much of a lead, as you can see, just, half a boat length, if that. He's 6'2", 190 pounds, 24 years old, from Glencoe, Illinois. He's now living in New York City and rows for the New York Athletic Club. He's a Cornell graduate where he rowed in their 8. He's working on his Ph.D. right now at Columbia. Now Ivanov begins to come up in the middle. That's Spero on the far outside. 750 meters have gone by. 2,000 meters altogether, 1 mile and a quarter. The amazing thing about Spero out ahead here is it's only his 3rd year in single sculls. They say this is a sport that takes 4, 5, 6. The more you row, the better you get. Of course, until you get too old. And trailing behind, but trying gamely, is Toshiomi Kasagi of Japan. This is not really one of the strong Japanese sports, but since they are the hosts, they felt they should compete in all the sports, all 20 of them here at the Olympics. It's a beautiful rowing course, as you can see. It was started actually for the Olympics, which was supposed to be held here in Tokyo in 1940. Don Spero still has that lead, but Ivanov in the center has moved up ahead of Damidi of Argentina. Don Spero, they say, if he sticks with it, will become a truly great sculler. He only lacks experience right now, and that's because he's only been sculling for 3 years. Rigorous training by these Olympic athletes. Don, who now is enjoying almost a boat length ahead of Ivanov, rows 12 miles a day, does running and isometric exercises besides. Rows twice a day, 6 miles in the morning, just after breakfast, and then he rows late in the afternoon. They're beautiful to watch, aren't they? The shells, by the way, are very light, which they're rowing in, around 30 pounds. The length is about 27 feet. The oars are about 10 feet long. The weight of each oar about 5 pounds, and they're using those shovel blades, which the Ratzeberg crew from Germany made so popular. Spero still enjoying that length lead. You can see the bow of Ivanov's boat as we widen out now. It looks like a race between these two, and if Don Spero wins, it'll be quite an upset. These are extremely difficult to row. You must have perfect balance. Each blade must be pulled evenly yet at the same time. If you're right-handed, you must compensate for the stronger right arm by pulling harder with the left. And usually the first time you step into one of these single sculls, you just tip right over. It's still Don Spero out ahead by about a length. But watch Ivanov, considered by many experts as the world's greatest sculler. He's won this event twice in a row. Would like to repeat again. Spero watching him very carefully. There's a 1,500-meter mark. Now we're in the last 500 meters. Ivanov is taking a sprint. Let's see if Spero can match it. Ivanov is not gaining much. Spero still enjoying that about a length lead. Rowing these small boats really takes great dedication. Ivanov beginning to creep up a little bit, it looks like. We're down to about the last 100 or 200 meters. Spero takes this, it'll be quite an upset. That is Spero out ahead. Looks like he might take it. Ivanov is sprinting here, but not making up much ground. Getting close to the end. Don Spero's lead remains just about the same. Getting down to about the last 100 meters of the race right now. There they are, but the angle is deceiving. Don still has about that length lead over the world's champion. Vyacheslav Ivanov of the USSR. Ivanov is trying to sprint now, trying to pull up if he can. Something happened to the Russian, he stopped. Don Spero keeps on going. Now Ivanov picks up a little bit, and it certainly is Don Spero's race. A great upset by the United States here in single sculls in this heat. Don Spero the winner, crossing the line right there. You can see the flags just up above the lanes. Ivanov pulling slowly. The meaty comes up. And Ivanov just gets across before it. But of course, Ivanov has another chance, though he has been defeated by Don Spero here. Don Spero automatically goes into the finals. And they have what is called the repechage, which is the heats for losers, and 3 of those go into the finals. And here's Kasagi of Japan finishing out the race, this heat in 4th place. So it's a great win for Don Spero. Well, that was quite an upset there. A good one for the United States, but of course it's not one. They have the finals coming up, dimensioned with a repechage, which means if Ivanov, if he wins his heat, will be back in the finals against Don Spero.